Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I am so lucky that you have given me your most precious asset, which is your time. So thank you for that. And I promise that I have done everything in my power to make it worth your while. So welcome to Your ABM Strategy Sucks and What You Can Do About It. So jumping in, I'm Kate Adams. I'm SVP of Marketing here at Validity. Prior to joining Validity, I was at Drift running demand gen. And prior to that, I did a little bit of time at SmartBear. If you enjoy today's session, or if you don't and you have feedback for me on how I can get better, I would love to hear from you. You can find me on Twitter at KAdams24 or on LinkedIn. If you just search Kate Adams, but if you type in the LinkedIn URL, that's exactly how you can find me there. I would love to hear from you. So let's jump in, right? So according to Salesforce, in their recent report, right, 92% of us have now officially implemented account-based marketing programs, right? 92%. It's incredible how many of us have gone down this path. And let's talk about some of the realities of that, right? Some of the realities are that according to Demandbase, 82% of B2B website visitors are not our potential customers. So think about that for a minute, because it's kind of mind-blowing. 82% of all of the traffic that we're working so hard and so diligently to drive to our websites they are not our potential customers, right? Marketo says that 60% of website visitors bounce without an interaction on a second page. So meaning people are hitting your website, visiting one page, 60% of those people hitting your website, visiting a single page and heading off, right? And then lastly, 79% of marketing leads never actually convert into a sale, right? 79% of marketing leads never convert into sales. That is astounding, right? And it's also a really long way to say that the old way, just based on these stats right here, the old way wasn't working, which is why 92% of us have gone and started adopting some level of account-based marketing. And why do we do that? We did that because there's so much data out there that tells us that if we do it, our ROIs will be higher. Our ASPs will also be higher. Average selling prices will actually go up, and that we will have way better sales and marketing alignment, which for organizations globally, I've talked to so many of them, is a major challenge that organizations face today. It's that back and forth between sales and marketing. Why don't you follow up with the leads? Because your leads are not very high quality. Why don't you, how do you know they're not high quality? Because you're not following up with them, right? It's that constant back and forth. And so I've got a couple problems with account-based marketing. And I'm going to talk to you about why I believe our programs have actually been set up to suck and what we can do about it, right? So my first problem is actually in the name itself. Account-based marketing actually, I believe, fundamentally sets your organization up for failure, because it makes it sound like this is something that marketing does after we design the hats, t-shirts, and water bottles, and the rest of the organization can just put their feet up and wait for it all to happen, right? That is fundamentally flawed. If you're doing account-based marketing really well today, you know that it's not just your marketing organization that's actually doing it. I would actually say that the real name for this go-to-market motion is account-based revenue, because that's actually what it is, right? And one of the other core reasons why we've taken this approach or gone in this direction as marketers is because we know in order for marketing to hold our seat at the table, in order for us to make it really crystal clear about how important marketing is to our organization, we have to be able to draw a straight line to revenue. And so this is about joining marketing, sales, or business development right to that straight line, all rowing our boat in the same direction, trying to get to revenue. My second problem on why I think account-based marketing has, or why we have been set up to suck, our account-based marketing programs have anyway, is because there has been a drastic oversimplification about what account-based marketing is, from many, many vendors and many, many thought leaders in the space, right? They make it's as easy as 1, 2, 3, right? All you have to do is identify your target accounts. Then the next thing you have to do is just market to those accounts. And then the last thing you have to do is sit back and just count that money and watch it come in. When I think the reality is, and we all know this, that nothing could be further from the truth. The reality actually more looks something like this, where you have to start by analyzing your customer base. Then you need to segment that customer base. Then you need to build your ideal customer profile, right? Which is a huge undertaking in and of itself. You need to build a financial model that aligns to your strategy. Then you need to sell that strategy to your organization, primarily sales, so that they understand it, they buy in, and they understand all the asks of them. You need to potentially leverage technology in order to measure account level engagement across your organization. You need to train your SDR or BDR team. You need to train your sales team. You need to create a regular cadence of meetings for accountability. And then you need to be able to identify wins and losses throughout your program and iterate through them, right? And so really, this quote from John Wooden, I absolutely loved, because I think it resonates so much, just about so many things in life in general, but certainly about account-based revenue programs. It's the little details that are vital, right? It's the little things that make big things happen. And I firmly believe that account-based revenue is a big thing, right? It is a big thing. There are so many organizations who have done it well, right? Despite all of these things that I just talked about, so many organizations who have done it and are doing it well and have seen a growth trajectory change for their business as a result. And so let's talk about some of those little things. Like when I mention the details, I really mean, I want to talk about the details, like the tactics, the things that you and your teams are doing to really make your account-based revenue motion a success and to make it take off and to achieve exponential growth for your organization. And so one thing I know for sure, one thing I absolutely know for sure, is that the same old is just, it won't cut it anymore. It's not going to cut it when it comes to your account-based revenue motion. And so here are a few key things that I think that it's those details, right? These are the details that I believe that we need to be looking at as marketers. And the first thing is, if you're going to an account-based revenue motion for your organization, one, any good marketing program, account-based revenue or otherwise, is based on data, right? You are only as good as the data that you have available to you, right? And so the reality is that also, according to Discover.org, now ZoomInfo, right, is that 62% of us rely on marketing and prospect data that is 40% inaccurate. Okay, so let's unpack that a little bit. So we're saying we're going to move to an account-based revenue motion. We're not going to focus on the entire world of leads, right? The entire universe of leads. We're going to care about a specific set number of accounts that we believe really hone in on our ideal customer profile. And so now the data around those accounts becomes even more important. It is even more critical that it is accurate, more than it has ever, more important than it ever has been in the past, right? And so if you have duplicate accounts and you're trying to go after 15,000 accounts, but 50% of them are duplicates, look, you're not setting yourself up for success. If you have duplicate contact records, you're not setting yourself up for success. If you have lead and contact records in your database that essentially are the same person, but for whatever reason, you weren't able to merge those records together, so you have some activity on one record and other activity on another record, you are not setting yourself up for success, right? And so you have got to, as part of this motion, really hone in on how are you, for those accounts that you care about most, how are you ensuring that your data is the most accurate as it possibly can be, right? Next thing, email. So in the old world, right, outside of an account-based revenue motion, you were in a batch and blast, right? We were in a batch and blast motion where it was like, hey, just send out as many emails as we can, as often as we can without affecting our opt-out rate. And we will be able to kind of churn these people through, right? We'll nurture them. We'll get them to take another action. That action will lift their behavior score. And therefore I'll be able to route them to the SDR team or BDR team. And then boom, they'll just convert like that. But the reality is this, with the last just under 2 years that we all have lived through, email volume, right? Because we've all as marketers had to go on and rely on more digital channels. We have actually increased email volume. This is our own proprietary data here at Validity. We've increased email volume by 94% year over year. And so because we have almost double the amount of email going out and getting to different inboxes, all of those inbox providers have had to get much more selective about what email matters, right? What is good email and what is bad email? And so what we're seeing then is that actually inbox placements, actually then the amount of email that is getting to somebody's inbox versus their promotions tab versus their spam folder, right? That actually what's happening is that has dropped by 9%. Year over year. More of your messages are actually landing in a spam folder than they are in the inbox. And email engagement itself, open rates are down by 5%, click-through rates are down by 4%. Why? Because we're all just getting flooded with more and more and more email. There's just not enough hours in the day to keep up with it all. Right. And so if what we're saying is in an account-based revenue motion that we, again, are honing in on these key accounts that are so important to us, it is so important that then our messages must be able to get to people, right? If they must be able to actually be read by human beings. And so we've got to do much more work at creating engaging, crafting engaging messages that people want to respond to, that people want to engage with. And we have to do more diligence in making sure and understanding actually where is that message actually landing, right? In order to give ourselves even a chance. Next up, website. So I talked about earlier how 82% of people that are visiting our websites, B2B marketers today, aren't even prospects for our company, right? 82% of that. That's mind-boggling. So then you've got this 60% bounce rate. So most people are coming to your website, 60% of them are coming and walking away. And then the other reality is that your overall, and as a result of that, your overall conversion rate is a global conversion rate for B2B websites is about 2.5% right now. On top of that, Google is actually saying now that 80% of people are making choices based on their website experiences that they have with vendors. So people are increasingly comparing the website experience that they have with you against your competitor. When was the last time that any of us actually spent time on our competitors' websites? How have you thought about how your experience compares to their experience? How easy is it for you to find the information you're looking for on your website? How easy is it for you to talk to a human being based on your website? And what does that actually look like? When was the last time that you have spent that much time really digging into your own website experience? And then lastly, it's all about the overall experience, right? I went back and forth about account-based revenue versus, I know other folks are calling that account-based experiences or account-based engagement. But at the end of the day, whatever the name we settle in on, right? It's also all about the experience we're providing. 76% of people say that there's a lack of personalization and customization in their buying experience, according to the Salesforce survey. And Salesforce also found that 72% of people expect a deep understanding of their needs reflected back to them through personalized experiences. And lastly, Serious Decisions found that 80% of B2B decisions are based on direct or indirect customer experiences, and only 20% of those buying decisions are based on price, product, or service, right? It is now all about experience. It's all about the trust that we're building. It's all about how we're sewing it all together. And so we have got to really, 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 as marketers, dig in here and understand the overall experience that we're providing. To sum it up, here's what I want to leave you with. This quote from Howard Schultz, who's the former CEO of Starbucks. Success will only come to those willing to get their hands dirty. So my call to action for all of us as marketers, regardless of what level you are today, let's roll up our sleeves, right? If I had a long sleeve shirt on, I'd roll up my sleeves. Let's roll up our sleeves and dig in and get our hands dirty. Let's dig into our data. Let's dig into our email. Let's dig into our website. Let's dig into the entire experience. What does it look like when an SDR follows up with somebody from your organization? Dig into the entire thing and really glue it together. So that's it. That's what I got for you. Why your ABM program sucks and what you can do about it. My name's Kate Adams. I would love to hear from you. Thank you for giving me your time today. I really, really appreciate it. Have a great day.